collaborative actions. Collaborative is not consolidation.
Okay, so you want to rewrite that resolution to put the terminology to what's identified, because whereas historical system supported consolidation for the county schools.
That's true.
And it is?
Yes. Yes, because the last facilities plan supported consolidation of the county schools. That was the whole purpose of it.
No, the facility plan was to reduce the size of schools, the number of schools. It wasn't consolidation. Nothing in the
It consolidated the Sullivan County school system. You just said so by reducing. When you reduce, you consolidate. Reduce means put together. Consolidate means put together.
So when you're saying it doesn't involve city school systems, it's
that's right. That's exactly right. It was the county system. Correct.
You could say consolidation services. That might be.
Yeah, that might be better. I mean, the wording is optional. You know, I just feel like, you know, there's a lot of bridges that need to be mended. We all need to sit down and talk. You know, I know that Kingsport folks, you know, had to reduce their budget almost $4 million. First this week, I believe I read. You know, and you know, Metaview's laid off folks. You know, folks, I'm just scared to death. We're facing hard financial times.
Well, we also passed a resolution a while back, I think Commissioner Stanley, about working with the cities and the county to figure out way to save money by reducing duplication of services. And have we had any reports or anything done on that resolution?
Well, I understand from work session the other night that I'm culpable in that, is that we never actually got the committee formed. Is that correct, Angie? Okay. So
I don't know the answer to that, Mr. Vance.
Okay. Okay. Sponsor renews his motion, seconded by Commissioner Cole. Further questions? Okay. Yeah. Would you tell her what you'd like that sentence to be?
Absolutely. Instead of consolidation, say collaboration. Yes, ma'am. Just replace collaboration with consolidation. I think that'll smooth the feathers. Yeah. Yeah. I might have got that backwards. We'll use the word collaboration, not consolidation. How's that? Is that clear? Is that fair?
Is that fair?
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
We can do that. Okay. Clerk got it just to replace the word. Okay. Sponsor renews his motion. Before we take this voice vote, Commissioner Hutton, we talked today with the governor's staff about renewing on June 30th the requirement to have roll call votes. I'm going to see if we can't get them to change that and just have a roll call on those not attending. So I thought about that after you said it, and I'll make that suggestion to the governor. So we're ready to vote. So, Madam Clerk, would you take the vote on item number 3?
Akerd, Blaylock, Broughton,
Yes.
Calton,
Yes.
Cole, Crawford,
Yes.
Crossbite,
Yes.
Gardner, George, Glover,
Yes.
Parker Road,
Yes.
Heron,
Yes.
Hutton, Jones, King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Morrell, Stanley, Starnes, Stidham,
Yes.
Vance,
No.
and Woods absent. 18, would anyone like to change their vote? $17 yes, 6 no, 1 absent.
Having received the necessary majority, item number 3 is adopted, and I would ask Mr. Broughton to contact me and we'll work together on those appointments. Thank you.
We might include this statement.
Yeah. Angie, we'll consider you, Angie. we may want to look at that other, resolution and maybe administratively combine those things. Okay, if everybody's ready, we'll move on to item number 4, which is Commissioner Gardner, seconded by Commissioner Cole. Commissioner Gardner, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Item number 4, we discussed it at the work session. It was in regards to pauper burials, requesting a budget amendment in the amount of $5,500. The pauper cremations, like I mentioned, occur when the deceased survivors are unable to afford the cost of a funeral. Also, possibly if the survivors' families can't be located. Again, this resolution is asking for $5,500 be transferred from the general fund to cover these costs. If there's no other discussion, I renew my motion.
Renews his motion for adoption on second and final reading. I believe that's right. Any discussion, questions, sponsor? We're ready to vote.
Aker,
I'll look around one more time. Yeah, go ahead and take it. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Blaylock, Broughton,
Yes.
Calton,
Yes.
Cole, Crawford,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Crosswhite,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
George, Glover,
Yes.
Harkrow,
Yes.
Aaron, Hutton, Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Stanley,
Yes.
Starnes,
Yes.
Stidham,
Yes.
Vance,
Yes.
and Woods. Absent. 20, would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
I received the necessary majority. Item 4 is adopted, and if I can take a point of personal privilege here, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Locke. Commissioner Locke mentioned the body farm at the University of Tennessee in debating this bill this past week. And Commissioner Locke, I believe you contacted our chief coroner and medical examiner. Well, you jump in, I'll relay what I think happened. And Dr. Hudson called me and found that only the chief medical examiner of the state can refer bodies, or his designee can refer bodies to the body farm. So Dr. Hudson called at Hunter's suggestion, and the chief medical examiner appointed him as his designee in Sullivan County. So Hunter, we've sent 2 to the body farm thus far. So I've got to congratulate Hunter to get us on there, and we'll redo our protocol and make that one of the options as we treat these people who can't afford burials. And the options will be restore life, the body farm, and then cremation, paid for by the county. So that's progress, and I don't know of other people, but Hunter, I appreciate you bringing it up. Well, the body farm takes bodies from around state, and if it gets overused, then they'll cut us off. Anyway, next up, item number 5, Commissioner Herschel Glover and co-sponsor Dwight King. Herschel,
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution is to approve funding for the purchase of skimmer equipment for the Boone Lake Association. I would like to put this on first reading if I could, sir.
First reading, okay. And I should have mentioned this is the first of the new business, so appreciate that. So we'll consider that next month. Item number 6, Commissioner Glover, you're on item number 6 from Commissioner Vance.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution is to name Sullivan County EMS station after 2 outstanding paramedics that serve Sullivan County. The new EMS station on River Road shall be named Sullivan County EMS Sabrina Carrier and Phil Brown EMS Station 3. Earlier tonight, the families of Miss Carrier was here, and I certainly appreciate them attending tonight, and I certainly appreciate the support of the other commissioners to name this station after those two special individuals. I would like to say I want to thank Sabrina Carrier family for sharing her with the folks of Sullivan County. I think this is going to mean a lot to them since they're from the Bluff City area, and the Brown family also. This is something that's been a long time coming for these EMS employees. And like I said last Thursday night at our workshop, I think sometimes we forget the amount of stress that's on these particular employees. When we leave our homes and move on of a day, we kind of got a routine that we go. And these folks, their routine can be changed with the drop of the hat. And it's very honoring for me to be the sponsor on this with Commissioner Vance and Commissioner King and Ms. Crosswhite. And I would like for all the other commissioners that vote in the affirmative to be sponsors on this. And if you would, Ms. Clerk, would you write each individual name on this in the affirmative, if you would, please?
Without objection. You've heard the explanation, properly seconded. Any discussion or questions for the sponsor? All those voting in affirmative will be recorded by full name as co-sponsor. Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, would you take the vote on item 6?
Akers,
Absolutely, yes.
Blaylock. Broughton. Felton.
Yes.
Cole. Crawford. Cross. Crosswhite.
Yes.
Gardner. George. Glover. Harkrow.
Yes.
Heron. Hutton. Jones. King. Leonard. Locke. Morrell. Stanley. Starnes. Stidham. Vance. And Woods. Woods is absent. Would anyone like to change their vote?
Madam Clerk, if you will, before you announce the vote, I'd like to correct the record and note that Commissioner Glover had intended to and that instructed me to suspend or waive the rule for the immediate introduction and adoption of item number 5. And I forgot to do that. So the record is now correct. Please announce the vote.
23 yes, 1 absent.
Having received necessary vote, item 6 is adopted. Next up, Commissioner Locke on item number 7.
This resolution is to name EMS Station Number 8, be named Junior Gotsey Station 8. A plaque was gave in his honor tonight to his family. Junior was paramedic with Sullivan County EMS. He worked there for around 13 years. He also was a member of the Life Saving Crew 23 years, a flight paramedic for Wings. Couldn't be named to a better paramedic who served the county and loved what he did. And like to waiver the rules on this. And
Commissioner Locke's motion to waive the rule for the immediate introduction and adoption of item number 7, seconded by Commissioner Vance. All those voted, Hunter, all those voting in the affirmative be shown as prime co-sponsors. Any questions? Any comments? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, take the vote on item number 7.
Akers. Blaylock. Broughton. Calton.
Yes.
Cole. Crawford. Cross. Crosswhite.
Yes.
Gardner. George. Glover. Harkrow.
Yes.
Heron. Hutton. Jones. King. Leonard. Locke. Morrell. Stanley. Starnes. Stidham. Vance. And Woods absent. Would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
Having received the necessary majority, item number 7 is adopted. Item number 8 was on consent. Item number 9, Commissioner Gardner, you're recognized on item number 9. Waive the rule.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 9, we spoke about it last week at the work session, is to move funds, neighborhood $50,000 from the general fund to the ankle bracelet account at the sheriff's office. And if I may, sir, I'd like to invite Mr. Horn up. He had mentioned he had mentioned he wanted to address the commission as well.
We'll recess, and recognize Mr. Horn and Sheriff Cassidy.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks for having me. Good evening, John. Yes, the initial intent behind this obviously was we're running out of funds in the ankle bracelet monitoring budget. And I wanted to be proactive in bringing this to the attention for future invoices that are going to need to be paid. And my first thought was this is what was done back in December of 2013. So I just sort of fell by default in that manner to request another resolution for an additional $50,000. But another option could be that rather than taking this resolution and appropriating funds out of the general fund into this budget, I have a current surplus in the jail 100 account due to the pretrial release officer program that was budgeted for this fiscal year for the whole year. Now I've used some of those funds in transferring them to cover some operating costs, but I would still have sufficient funds to transfer the $50,000 out of the jail 100 account over into this ankle bracelet monitoring budget. So we really wouldn't need the resolution necessarily. We could do it by resolution, or we could just do it by a budget committee transfer approval request. So that's just.
I believe that this would just qualify as a budget transfer. I believe we've got Gardner and then you, Gary.
If an amendment is necessary, I'm definitely open to amending this resolution to accommodate moving the money from the jail 100 account to the ankle bracelets, or if necessary, to withdraw the resolution for the purpose of doing a budget transfer to next budget committee. Either one is acceptable with me.
Yeah, well, I noted that you had on waiver the rules for some urgency. I'll ask Mr. Bailey, how would you be comfortable handling this, Larry, with Frank's comments?
I think since it's already on the floor and you're discussing it, it'd be best just to go ahead and make a transfer out of this particular resolution, which would just a higher level of authorization. So act on it tonight and do the transfer. That's my recommendation.
Gary?
If Commissioner Gardner will, I'd suggest we go ahead and do that. Ask him to amend it to authorize Sheriff's Department to move the funds from pretrial. He already has on a waiver of rules. If he'll accept that amendment, we can go ahead and get it done tonight.
Yeah, I believe you said that.
I'm willing to accept that amendment if we can move it forward.
Madam Clerk, did you get that change the account from general fund to account 100 budget transfer to Sheriff's Department? Okay. Further questions? Todd?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank you guys for working with us on that. I know you need the money. Thank you for finding it. Like I say, right now we're in uncertain times. So
We realize that.
yeah, we thank you. Thank you for your hard work on that.
A rough year. We appreciate you all.
Well, thank you all.
David?
Thank you, Chairman. Kind of piggyback off of Commissioner Broughton. Again, this is kind of how things happen in government. We bring a resolution, then we beat it up, and we find other ways to do it, and y'all have done really well at doing that. Thank you. And second of all, I just want to say thank you to your brothers in the Thin Blue Line for doing everything you do to protect the people of Sullivan County. With everything going on in this crazy world, we're lucky to have all y'all, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Commissioner. Out of order. Any other comments? I'll add my thank you, Sheriff, and I believe we're ready to vote. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry.
Well, you said any other comments? I just want to, I'm just amazed at how hard they worked over there to get that jail population down. We were down at 600 at one point in time. It was as high as 1,000. I think I've mentioned this before, but it's just incredible how hard they worked over there. And with that lawsuit hanging over our head, I just really want to thank them, commend them for a job well done. We need to keep it down there, but it sure has taken a lot of work to get it down there.
Thank you, Dan. I believe you echo the sentiments, Sheriff. Do you want a final word before we vote, Frank, or Sheriff, either one?
Thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Well, I believe y'all taking my advice. When you got the votes, quit talking. Madam Clerk, would you, I'll recognize you after the vote. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Akerd,
Yes.
Blaylock, Broughton, Calton,
Yes.
Cole, Crawford, Cross, Crosswhite,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
George, Glover,
Yes.
Harkrow,
Yes.
Aaron, Hutton,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Stanley,
Yes.
Starnes,
Yes.
Stidham,
Yes.
Vance,
Yes.
Woods absent. Would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
I received necessary majority. Item number 9 is adopted. Sheriff, recognize you.
I just wanted to come up and thank everybody. Like I say, I know this has been a rough year with everything going on, but I really do appreciate the work with the commission and you, Mayor, as well, and as a county attorney. Thank you a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Okay, next up, item 10 was consent. Item 11 was consent, 12 was consent, 13, 14, 15, and 16 were consent. Well, you got on a roll there the other night. That's pretty good. Item number 17, Commissioner Morrell, you're recognized on item 17, first reading.
This is first reading. I think Commissioner Glover had asked about what that 500 count was, Herschel. That was, let me get that was some money there in a self-insured dental plan that is no longer, they've stopped that this year evidently. And what they were doing, they're taking that $40,000 and putting it into 300 account contracted services to cover newly state mandated background checks for all school employees. So that's the reason why that's what that $40,000 was.
Commissioner Vance has a question, Randy.
Mr. Morrell, I think you're going to have to ask waiver of rules because this is involving the 1920 budget. So we need to prove that this month. So
yeah.
So we can make sure our budget will match up. Right, Mr. Bailey?
That's true. It needs to be acted on tonight. Commissioner Glover, you're recognized.
Randy, is any of this money that they're transferring over, is it going to be used in any way for the new position that was created over there?
Not that I know
of. It says here personnel.
Not that I know of, Herschel. Let's see, I was trying to look up here. Let's see, regular instructional program, 72,520 human services, 72,620 maintenance plan, and 76,100 was capital outlay.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know of.
So none of this money we're voting on here is going to be used for.
Not that I know of.
Okay. Does anybody know?
English went over that, but they used it for
Oh, yeah.
Further questions?
I would like to have waiver rules on this, please.
Okay, Commissioner Morrell has moved for the immediate introduction and adoption of item number 17, seconded by Commissioner Stanley. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Akerd,
Yes.
Blaylock, Broughton,
Yes.
Calton, Crosswalk.
Yes.
What's that dog doing?
I can't hear. I can't hear. I'm sorry. I'm voting yes. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I think we got that.
Crosswhite's a yes. Gardner. George. Glover. Glover.
Yes.
Harker.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Hutton. Jones.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Morrell.
Yes.
Stanley. Starnes. Stidham.
Yes.
Vance.
Yes.
Woods absent. Would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
I've received necessary majority. Item number 17 is adopted. Item number 18 was on consent. Item 19, Commissioner Glover, you're recognized on item 19.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution is to adopt the Sullivan County Financial Management System of 2020. Whereas earlier this year, the Sullivan County Commission requested that the state legislature do submit and pass the Sullivan County Financial Management System of 2020. And whereas State Representative Bud Halsey and Senator John Lundberg sponsored respectively House Bill 2933 and Senate Bill 2937, adopting legislation approving the Sullivan County Financial System of 2020. And whereas State Representatives John Crawford and Timothy Hill also fully supported the legislation. And the Tennessee General Assembly has approved both House Bill 2933 and Senate Bill 2937, approving the Sullivan County Financial Management System of 2020. Now therefore it be the resolved that the Sullivan County Board of Commissioners of Sullivan County, Tennessee, assembled in regular session, approves adopting the Sullivan County Financial Management System of 2020, and the same being become effective as of July 1st, 2020. Be it further resolved that this clarification, this management system will supersede the 1947 Act, wherein applying that the Sullivan County purchasing agent. However, should this act not address a particular issue, that the 1947 Act will govern the purchasing agent in those instances. I'd like to take this time to thank State Representative Halsey for getting a hold of this and moving it forward for us. I also want to thank Representative Hill and Representative Crawford for all their hard work on this. And I also want to thank the meeting that we had when we had the folks from the comptroller's office come in, Jason Mumpower. I want to thank Jason and the staff of the comptroller's office for helping us through this. And also Mr. Bailey. He worked extremely hard on this, and Commissioner King, Commissioner Crosswhite, all the other commissioners that's really supported this and worked hard on this. Even though my name's on that as a sponsor, it was a team effort for all of us. And I really want to thank all you folks for being involved in this. In my opinion, this is probably one of the most important resolutions that's ever been voted on in Sullivan County. And I think it's going to move Sullivan County forward in a very positive manner. And it's going to give the people of this county what they've asked for, and that's transparency and accountability. And I would like to name every single commissioner as voting in the affirmative to be co-sponsors on this, please, just like we did at the workshop, please.
Without objection. Commissioner Broughton, self-recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. Just somebody to add to that list, and I probably aggravate them more than the rest of you folks, but Leslie gets overlooked a lot, and I appreciate all her help. Anytime I ever send her an email or ask her for anything, she's great to work with. Just didn't want to leave her out. She's done a lot of hard work along with it.
Thank you too, Leslie, if you're watching.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments before we vote? As required by the Tennessee Code annotated, this resolution will require 16 votes to become effective per the code. So
I do ask for waiver of the rules on this, sir.
Sir?
I do ask for waiver of the rules on this, please.
Okay, I think that goes along with the requirement for 16 votes. So we're good and ready to vote if discussion's over. Madam Clerk, take the vote on item number 19.
Akerd,
Yes.
Blaylock, Broughton,
Yes.
Calvin,
Yes.
Cole, Crawford,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Crosswhite,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
George, Glover,
Yes.
Harkrow,
Yes.
Heron,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Morrell, Stanley,
Yes.
Starnes,
Yes.
Stidham,
Yes.
Vance,
Yeah.
Woods, absent. Would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
Have received the necessary majority. Item number 19 is adopted. And I would like to congratulate the commission on working very closely together, and especially Herschel and Mr. Bailey for crafting this. And I know sometimes Herschel, our better halves help us too, and I want to recognize her. You're exactly right. None of the job. So thank you. It is a significant day in Sullivan County history. Okay, next up, item number 20. Commissioner Hunter Locke, you're recognized on item number 20.
This resolution is to amend the county coroner and medical examiner's budget for fiscal year 2019 and 20. We've had a 7.2 increase in death rate in this county, and therefore we're short on money in the county coroner's fund. And we asked to move 30 grand that we get reimbursed by the state chief medical examiner's office, be put back into the coroner's fund to make it through this fiscal year. And that's a waiver of rules. And take a vote, call for question.
Thank you, Hunter. Can you've got a number that 7% represents how many deaths?
In 2020, or current to right now, we've got 552 cases that we've done. And with the 552 that we've done, we get reimbursed $25 per case, which makes it $13,800 for just 2020. In 2019, we did 1,474 cases, and we got reimbursed by the state $36,850. And it's going to continue to rise, and we're looking right around 1,550 to 1,600 deaths December of 2020.
This death overall in the county, which is outstripping our birth rate. So you heard the explanation, seconded by Commissioner Gardner. Any questions for sponsor? He renews his motion to waive the rule for an immediate introduction and adoption of item number 20. Requires 16 votes for passage. Madam Clerk, we're ready to take the vote.
Akerd,
Yes.
Blaylock, Broughton, Calton,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Crosswhite,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
George, Glover,
Yes.
Parker Road,
Yes.
Heron,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Stanley, Starnes, Stidham,
Yes.
Vance,
Yes.
Woods, absent. Would anyone like to change their vote? 23 yes, 1 absent.
Having received necessary majority, item 20 is adopted. That completes our resolution agenda for the night. I have one more piece of business, and then I'll recognize you for whatever you might want to contribute. Typically in June of every year, the Networks Board is reviewed, and by their bylaws, certain members go off after they serve 2 complete terms on the Networks Board. Before I left Networks as chairman, the the bylaws were changed and it gave the Sullivan County Mayor 5 appointees to that board, the Kingsport Mayor 4, the Bristol Mayor 3, and the Bluff City Mayor 1. So we had one member rotate off. Mr. Williams rotated off after serving 2 terms as a county commissioner, and his term was up this year, and he served through that term. So the county representatives that are appointed by the mayor after I make this appointment will be I've drawn a blank. I'm sorry. Carolyn Farrell will, who works with Armstrong, I believe, is an appointee of the mayor and has been past chairman. Myself as the second member, David Wagner in Bristol as the third member, and I need to appoint a member of the county commission, and I'd like I'm going to appoint Mark Vance at his request. Mark is familiar with networks over the year, and next June we will have other members rolling off, and we will do this in June of every year. For the last 3 years, we have not done that, but as terms expired, as it was reorganized, we only had terms expire at that point in time. So you have good representation on that board. You've been very supportive of that board. There are talks going on now, and I want to make you aware of. If you read Kingsport Times News or Johnson City Press, you probably know there are talks going on between the Networks Board of Directors and the NetReps Board of Directors in Washington County. And these talks were started 2.5 years ago about common ground and common objectives. It's part of the regionalism discussion. Mayor Grandy and I included that discussion in the discussion of tourism, entrepreneurship, which you funded. You all took the lead on that, and the other items that we're looking at in regionalism. COVID, we were going to have a recommendation on a regional organization in February, but COVID kind of put a stop to it. So Mayor Grandy and I, and working with Pat Hardy with MTAS, Municipal Services, and Rick Hill with CTAS, we're calling a meeting of the mayors in the First Tennessee Development District, and hopefully we'll come out with a recommendation to them to take back to their county commissions on how we approach any regionalism in those 5 areas. So that's where we are. I'll keep you apprised of the next meeting. I think it's extremely important to you all on job creation. I think it's an opportune time for Sullivan County to get state support and state help. So with all the care money coming up, we need to be able to take advantage of that. And Pat Hardy, some of you all know him. He's been with municipal services with the University of Tennessee for at least 30 years, I'm sure. Is that right, Mark? About that long. But Pat says of the efforts in Tennessee, that the effort that the First Tennessee District is doing will end up being the pilot program for the entirety of Tennessee throughout the development districts. There are 9 development districts in Tennessee. So if we do it right up here, we'll get the support of the governor and could be replicated throughout the state. So I promise to keep you updated on that. It's a very important thing. And I appreciate your support of job creation up here. Okay, anybody else? Sam Jones, you're going to talk about firecrackers or veterans?
Both.
Okay.
No, we in Sullivan County take care of our citizens in a lot of ways. And Bluntville, 4th of July, we are going to have a parade. That parade is going to take place here in Bluntville. I think is at 2:00 maybe.
I'm sorry?
At 2:00. And,
I'm not sure of the time.
Well, I just got that confirmed. And then after the parade, head out to Observation Knob Park, our county-owned park, because we're going to be having, as it says, the South Holston Fireworks Extravaganza that night at Observation Knob Park. So everybody else is canceling stuff, and Sullivan County is providing entertainment for their citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good reminder. Kingsport has canceled their parade, I believe. Bristol, I believe, has canceled their parade. The Ruatan Club came to me and asked if I would bless that. And of course, I work with Gary Mays and Dr. May. And the Blumpville parade is a matter of hundreds of people, not thousands of people. And I think we can keep our social distancing and keep our tradition alive here. And I'm going to miss the Kingsport and Bristol parades. I really am, because I always go to them. But come out and support the Ruatan here in Blumpville, but bring your mask, pay attention to signs, keep your family 3 foot from the other families, and have a good time. Anyway, anything else? We're a little bit later tonight, but thank you for your patience. Randy, I want to congratulate you. You're on your patience. I felt like Judge Judy up here for a little while.
That's probably the most done in my tenure on the commission. I think that's the most unusual resolution that seemed harmless at first, but that's the way things go sometimes. But the one other point I'd like to make, I hope my wife is watching. If she's not, Mayor, could you call her and tell her that I am here and I'm going home?
Okay, and we're sending you home. Well, I appreciate it, and that's why you're here. You all decided you wanted to do this, and I'm glad you did. Motion to adjourn? Got several. We're adjourned.
This conference